Oh, no, Kirk. Draper.
Emily, I have to. We can't spend any more time here.
Yeah, but it's just dawn. Why don't we wait until the people start coming, and they won't dare to come near us when the people
Emily,
are
they may find us before then. I've got to get going. See what's happening and get the police. I promise. I promise I'll be back for you.
Just be careful. Promise me that.
Yeah, I promise.
Kirk, I love you.
Emily.
I know I have no right saying that. I know that you're not Kirk, that you're someone else's husband. But it doesn't change the way I feel about you. I do love you.
Draper!
There were two of them. A large woman. She's over there.
Draper?
Still trying car 14? Got their remote units with them. Why the hell don't they respond to our signal?
Here they are, Chief. Car 14.
Saxon, is that you?
Yeah, it is, Chief.
Well, it's nice of you to call in. Where the hell are you?
We're at the Oakdale Amusement Park. You won't believe what's going on around here.
Did you find Larry Watts?
Yeah, we found Larry Watts, all right. We did a lot more than that. I'm calling to report to you that Stoner was forced to shoot him in the course of preventing another crime.
He did what? Saxon, what's going on out there?
Well, I don't know if he's alive or dead yet, Chief. I don't know if he's going to survive the fall that he took, although the bullet wasn't fatal. I also want to tell you that we're bringing in another prisoner, Frankie Palmer, in connection with attempted murder.
Now, wait a minute, Saxon, wait a minute. What's this guy Palmer got to do with Larry Watts? And what do the two of them have to do with Emily Michaels, if anything?
Emily Michaels is safe. No problem about that. I think they were holding her hostage or something like that. I'm not really sure. I don't have the whole story. Oh, by the way, this Frankie Palmer isn't a man. She's a woman.
They were trying to kill Emily Michaels?
Well, when we spotted her, they were after, well, I can't say Emily Michaels' husband anymore. Chief, you won't believe who it turned out to be.
Try me.
The guy turned out to be Draper Scott.
Draper,
Are you there, Chief?
Yeah, I'm here. How is Draper? Is he in good condition?
I don't really know. He looked like he'd been through a meat grinder, but he's on his way to the hospital right now. April and Logan are with him.
April and Logan? When did they get there? I just left them an hour ago.
Well, I called April to talk to you, and Logan was there. I told him the whole story. They hopped in the car and followed us. Chief, you wouldn't believe what happened. When those two people saw each other, it was like a miracle. She thought he was dead.
We all thought he was dead.
Chief, you sound as if you know what's going on.
Logan told me that he thought Draper was still alive, living with Emily Michaels as her husband, Kirk. It answered all our questions.
Well, it sure doesn't answer all the questions for me. I think I've been up too late. I'm still kind of confused.
Bring your prisoner down to headquarters as soon as you can. We'll get this straightened out as soon as possible.
Okay, Red, I got her. Let's go.
Okay, Chief, we're on our way. 10-4. What about Larry Watts?
I think he died before they reached the hospital, and this one isn't shedding any tears.
I never cry on an empty stomach.
It's okay. Nothing serious anyway. The doctor's going to be done in just a little while.
I'll tell you, Logan, I just can't believe what's happening to me. Is it true? Is my husband really alive?
Well, you know, that long shot we talked about a couple of hours ago turned out to be a pretty good bet.
How'd it happen? I mean, where was Draper all these months? Why didn't he contact me? These people were after them. Who were they? Why did they want him? And how does Emily Michaels fit into this whole thing?
Slow down just a bit. I don't know the answer to all those questions. I only know a few things. I did talk to Emily Michaels a few minutes
Where
ago,
is she?
though. She's down the hall. They're looking after her.
Was she hurt?
Not physically, no. I think they're going to give her a sedative.
Well, what did she say? Tell me.
She said that Draper showed up at their place the night of the Grand Falls wreck. He was badly injured. His leg and his mind.
His mind? What do you mean?
Some sort of a memory block. I guess it's not surprising considering all the things that he'd been through.
Memory. Emily Michaels kept saying that her husband had a memory problem. That must be why Draper thought he was someone else.
Yeah, I guess so. Something like that. At any rate, the name Kirk Michaels, Draper's didn't choose that. It was given to him by Emily. Seems she honestly believed that he was somebody that she knew about 10 years ago.
Kirk Michaels.
Yeah. She couldn't believe that he hadn't come back to her, that it was some kind of accident that brought him to the doorstep.
Couldn't she see he was the wrong person? I mean, couldn't she tell?
I don't know.
Logan, his picture was all over the place. It was on television. It was in every newspaper. She had to know he was someone else. God, that was 6 months ago. 6 months. They've been living as husband and wife. In my house. I mean, my own house. Oh, God.
Excuse me. Mrs. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Michaels asked if she could please speak to you.
Well, of course. I mean, where is she?
I'll get her for you.
Please don't. You're in shock.
Mrs. Michaels, come on, sit down, please. Huh? Would you like some coffee or something? There's an urn right here.
No, thank you.
I was just trying to tell April what little I knew about this whole thing.
I want to tell you everything. April, please believe me. I was so sure he was my husband. I didn't lie to you.
Did they look so much alike?
He could have been Kirk 10 years later. That's how long it had been since I last saw him.
You must have been so young.
I was old enough to be in love and to be married. We eloped, you see. My parents found out about it and they came after us. There was an accident and my mother was killed. When the state trooper came to the justice of the peace to tell us what had happened, Kirk got frightened and he ran away.
Frightened? Frightened of what?
He had taken some money from my father's safe, some money and some jewelry. Well, it was just to get us started. I mean, he was going to pay it back. He really wasn't bad.
Emily, why did Draper believe all of this?
Because I made him believe it. I thought I was helping him by telling him what little I knew about his past. But he wouldn't accept it, of course. Then my father.
The good Dr. Galt.
My father wasn't a bad man. He just wanted to make sure I'd be happy, that I'd have someone to take care of me after he was gone.
What did he do?
He got the fingerprint record for you, didn't he? Got you the proof of Kirk Michaels' identity. That's what Derek came by wanted to tell me about tonight. See, we knew that it wasn't Kirk Michaels' record.
They were Draper's fingerprints. Emily, how did you get them?
My father made them. See, he gave Kirk some... I'm sorry, I still can't call him by any other name.
It's all right, go on.
He gave him some sleeping pills one night, and he took a set of his prints. The next morning, he showed us the cards, and he told us they were Kirk Michaels.
And then Draper compared his own fingerprints, and of course they were identical. When did you learn that you were wrong?
It was only a few days ago. Honestly, April, I didn't know when I first met you, when I came to talk to you about the house.
How did you find my house?
I told you. He found it.
Of course.
You?
Of course, he was trying to find his way back to you, April.
You were living with my husband in my house. His husband and wife.
Until we went to the amusement park, and that man recognized him.
How did he recognize Draper?
He didn't. He heard me call him Kirk Michaels. He thought he was the man who had taken a lot of money from him. Money they had stolen in a payroll robbery 9 years ago.
That's why you needed the $50,000. I didn't think it was for gambling debt.
Well, I gave them all the money so that they would set him free. But that woman said she wanted revenge, and they were going to kill him. That's when I told them... When I told him the truth.
You told him who he really was? Then he remembered?
He remembered his real name. And his real wife. So you see, it was all my fault they were holding your husband. I could have stopped it all from happening the day before when Molly told me the truth.
Molly? Molly Sherwood? She knew about this?
Oh, April, please don't blame Molly. She only found out when she started to work for you. She saw your wedding picture. Of course she knew right away. God, if I'd only called you. If I only had the nerve to tell Kirk, then none of this would have happened.
Told him eventually, didn't you? Isn't that all that matters?
Once he knew who he was, it gave him strength. He wanted so badly to come back to you.
Mrs. Scott,
Yes, Doctor. How is it?
your husband's very tired, but he'd like to see you.
Oh, good, thank you. Logan, are you going to come?
No, April, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's true. I'm alive.
It's a miracle. It's the only word I can think of to say, you know.
April, I can't tell you what I'm feeling. There's just so many things going on inside of me. I can't figure them all out.
Do you remember everything now? I mean, well, how did it feel to, you know, remember who you really were?
How did it feel? It felt like I was being born again. Painful, shocking, blinding. But oh, so wonderful.
Well, what about your memory now?
Don't ask me what I remember. Some things are real clear. Other things are blurry.
So, do you remember your recent past?
Yeah, I remember that.
So then you know who Emily is and her father?
Yeah, I remember the time in the house. The weeks there, the pain I felt. Their pain and mine. It's funny, I'm talking about this and I feel like it all happened to somebody else.
It did happen to somebody else, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I really believed that I was this Kirk Michaels. Well, why shouldn't I believe it? Everybody told me that's who I was. And I thought I had the proof.
Listen, don't worry about that now, Draper. You'll hear the details later.
Did you know where I was living? Isn't it incredible? Of course, you know where I was living. You sold us the house. You sold Emily the house. It's just too much.
Yes, look, it is too much. The doctor said that you need a lot of rest.
They wanted me to tell them something that I didn't know. They must have thought I was awfully brave.
You're brave, I know that.
I couldn't tell them where the money was. I didn't know. And then Emily brought the money. Emily, how is she?
She's all right. She's fine.
What, the other two?
Well, the man was shot, and the woman was arrested, and Calvin and Deborah took her down to police headquarters.
When Emily told me who I was, I didn't believe them. They didn't believe her either. So they had to go out and get some proof. They got out an old newspaper, and there was a picture of you and me, and that's when I realized that I was looking at my wife.
I don't believe it.
Hey, April, all I could think about was getting out of there. Getting to you. Tell you that it was all right, that there was nothing to worry about. I went for the door, and they hit me with something. All I had to get to you, so I pretended that they knocked me out. They didn't. I just waited for the right time to make a good move. Then I waited until Frankie, the woman, fell asleep.
Really?
Don't go. I mean, please don't leave me now.
I won't leave you. Oh, God, I'll stay. I'll stay as long as they'll let me.
What are you doing here?
Saxon and Stoner told me everything. They said you'd still be here.
Kirk Michaels was Draper Scott all the time. I didn't figure it out.
There's no way for us to know. Man was supposed to be dead.
Nope, no way we could have known. I almost found out, though, almost. I told you about that time I went over to the Michaels' place specifically to meet Kirk. Emily warned him off practically on the doorstep.
She must have known then who he really was. I was afraid you'd identify him.
I wonder how long she thought she could keep it up. Sooner or later, somebody who knew Draper was bound to spot him.
I don't think that woman was playing with a full deck.
Living in a dream world, huh?
Yeah.
What about those two characters who were holding Draper?
Well, Frankie Palmer is eating everything in sight at headquarters. We had to send out for more sandwiches to keep her quiet. As for Larry Watts, he's been quieted permanently.
What'd you find out about him?
Well, aside from attempted murder, I think it's safe to assume that those were the two that got away from that armed robbery back in '71, the one that Kirk Michael was killed in.
Makes sense.
Where's Draper and April?
They're in there. They're together.
Emily Michaels?
She was here a minute ago.
She under medical care?
I think they've given her a sedative, something like that. Wonder where she got to.
outside, the edge of night.